All right, good morning. Welcome to Southwest Flavor. I'm your host, Ron Arenas. We are here every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 a.m., so check us out every week. Today we have one of my mentors from the past 25 years, 30 years, Pastor Toby Newnum. Welcome.
Thanks. Yeah, great to be here. Pretty cool setup you got here. This is awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Exciting.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're very familiar with setting up, different production stuff for video and audio. And
nothing quite like this, but yes.
Yeah. Being behind the scenes and also on stage, of course.
Yeah.
Because you've been a musician for, I don't know how long.
Well, I guess coming in as a lead pastor at a church, that's where it sort of kicked in. But
yeah,
music-wise, it's one of those stories where it's always in the family. And
okay.
Mother's Day's coming up, and it makes me think about when we were in grade school. I think my mom got us our first gig.
Oh, really? And was it just like a neighborhood gig, or?
Well, it was the PTA fun fair.
Okay.
And like I said, this is elementary school.
Uh-huh.
My brother knew about 3 chords on the guitar. And so my sister and brother and I got up and sang Blowing in the Wind.
Oh.
The Peter, Paul, and Mary version, of course.
Uh-huh.
And, so, yeah, that was Mom. My mom's still, she's in California. She's 93. We're getting ready to go see her pretty soon.
Oh, wow.
That's a good Mother's Day memory.
Yeah.
But, yeah, music goes way back.
I bet. Yeah. And then, we've been enjoying your music here in Tucson for the last 30 years almost.
Man, it's been a blessing because we came in
96, maybe?
Yeah, that's really when it kicked in.
Yeah.
And Pastor David and I were working together. And I don't know if you remember, but in the 90s, we were coming out of where churches sang from hymnals. And I love the old hymns.
Right, but going into more contemporary.
Yeah, and a lot of churches still sing the old hymns. But we had decided to go another way, and we were going to go contemporary. But back then, praise choruses were fairly new, and there wasn't much to them. I mean, be careful how I say that.
Right. Oh, there's a lot of songs where they just repeated over and over again. Yeah.
And back then I was like, Jesus in the morning, Jesus at lunchtime, Jesus at supper time, and Pastor David and I are having a hard time finding some real substance.
Yeah.
So maybe we could probably write stuff. And we started writing and kind of got us into that. So that was a real blessing because sort of with that platform, we got into writing and original stuff and recording locally, no big deal. But a lot of the stuff I never thought I'd get to do came through.
Kind of part of your dream to do that.
As it turned out, it's a passion that I've always had, and again, I understand the perspective of a local guy, but to write and record and then actually be able to sing it with or for people is it's pretty cool. I mean,
yeah, it's pretty interesting. I really didn't know early on that there's a lot of music that's written that, like, you hear stuff on the radio, and that artist that's singing it didn't actually write the song.
Yeah,
someone else wrote the song.
And more, I think. Nashville has catalogs and catalogs full of amazing songs. So artists that are very capable of writing, if they're wise, they'll go find, something in the catalog that's fits them and is amazing. But yeah, it's true. You don't always.
Yeah.
The artist that's singing may have picked that up somewhere.
Yeah. They kind of they find something that fits them.
Yeah. And when I was first starting, and you don't know a lot about this, but I sort of poked my nose into everybody who starts writing going, man, maybe I could. And I saw, the steps that it takes. I went to a thing up in Estes Park in Colorado that shows you sort of behind the scenes if you want to get your songs in a catalog and I just knew, like, okay. I'm a dad with 4 kids and a pastor in Tucson, and I'm not.
Yeah.
This isn't a thing I would
Yeah, you're not going to be on
I
the
don't
road.
want,
All
to
the
try
time.
and get songs on the radio and that type of thing. Not that the stuff I wrote would get there, but it just
Well, the
had
two
that.
of you wrote a lot of songs
Yeah,
together.
we did. I mean, it was decided. If you know Pastor David, he never does anything halfway.
Right.
So once we started writing, it was like, well, let's get it to where this at church here, everything we do is original.
Mm-hmm.
And now, Ron, when I go to church, man, the songs are beautiful. I mean, where it has come to.
Yeah.
We're not doing hymns anymore, but the old hymns are beautiful, beautifully written, poetic. And we walked away from that because it was old style, maybe chord structure. But now, my goodness, at least the church that we attend, we're going to New Life now. They have all those amazing courses, and they're just beautiful.
Right. Yeah.
We kind of filled a gap back then. Like, I think we could write stuff that's, as good or fits us at least better for the church we are in. And now I hear that and go, man, this is really great. Also worship stuff.
Yeah. What were some of your influences when you're writing the music?
Well, that's the thing. Some of the songs, sometimes we should just do a podcast on Christian songs you won't hear at church. Because I have a lot of them. And, but coming from sort of just classic rock stuff that I listened to was 70s, yours probably was 80s.
80s, yeah.
And taking some of that Tom Petty Eagles type stuff and going, what if we tried to write in that style?
Okay.
But there's a biblical message or a worship message. And that's kind of what we did.
Yeah.
At least that's what I did. And
yeah.
Songs that I wrote, you could point back to something Don Henley wrote, or I want to write one like that. But I think a good example is Prophet Jeremiah. We wrote a song called Fire in My Bones because that was one of his quotes. He said, if I tried to hold in the message of God and not tell it to the people, it would feel like a fire in my bones. And so take that idea and add Don Henley's song, Forgiveness.
Right.
And you come up with a song like Fire in My Bones is what we did. But yeah, that's how we did it.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So you have an event coming up also.
Yeah, we do. Just when the hot weather's hitting.
Yeah. It's going to be a warm Saturday, but not too bad.
Well, it'll be sundown, sunset, so it'll be nice. But it's this coming Saturday.
It's just in 2 days.
Yeah. We've been working toward it. And what we've done over the years, right now we're with a nonprofit called Matthew 25, but for years we've been crashing parking lots for a good cause.
Yeah.
We've done outside of Rubio's, Growlers.
I remember that,
over on Twin Peaks. We've done outside of Barn Fire. We've done, in this case, we're going to be outside of Roadrunner Coffee and Fido's Tacos.
Okay.
Out on Linda Vista.
Thornydale, yep.
Out by Mountain View High School. And we just bring a live band and set up, and we'll be cranking out some music. And then in the area, which is nice, that's why we do it there, there's Little Caesar's Pizza. If you walk over there, there's Subway over there. There's McDonald's behind us.
Yeah.
Of course, Fido's Tacos is right there.
Right,
so,
you have several options.
Yeah, come on over, bring a lawn chair, and we get together, but we also, there's always a cause. And so in this case, this one happens to be for family, so it's kind of close to home. My son and my daughter-in-law had a medical emergency a couple months ago.
Right.
And so along with sort of that punch in the gut of losing a loved one, then you get the medical bills.
Yeah.
So
the medical bills always come afterwards. Yeah.
So we're just getting together, do some live music, have some food in the Arizona sunset. And, that's the way I picture it anyway. Beautiful day and friends and family coming over. And that's at 6:00 on Saturday, May 10th.
Yeah. And it's always a good time. I mean, you see so many people that you know.
Yeah, it's very casual. And as I heard you mention, you've been involved in a lot of our events, even back to the ones where you guys were coming out and making hot dogs.
Yeah.
we had the backpack events were in the morning, and I thought, that's cool. I mean, I don't know who's going to eat hot dogs at 10 a.m., but
But
it turns out
we served about 600 or 800 hot
lot of
dogs.
people eat hot dogs, including myself, at 10 a.m. So, yeah, you guys have been there and seen. It's casual, it's classic rock. It's
so it's stuff that everyone knows, that classic rock that you would hear.
And not only that, being a pastor for 20 some years, coming through a few seasons with different churches, you get to know a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
And, churches come and go and people move on. It's sort of every time we do it, it's kind of like a family reunion.
Right.
A lot of people that.
Some people you haven't seen in 10 years, some people you haven't seen in just a year or a couple months. Yeah.
You said we go back 20 some years.
Yeah.
And so, they'll come back and see each other. It's almost like a family reunion. I almost say class reunions, but those aren't always a real positive experience. But just a good time to get together and hugs and handshakes and you can drop a check in the box when you're there or some cash, or we show people how to go online and give and, help out. In this case, it's my son and daughter-in-law, but we've done them for other families. I think the first one we did was a situation where a dad had been taken through a motorcycle accident and the family, anything like that.
Right.
Matthew 25 has primarily been focused on Ethiopia, which it is. We have recurring givers that give for that, and make sure everybody knows that when we do local stuff that has a specific cause, including even if it's stuff for my family, what we do for Ethiopia is uninterrupted.
Right.
We're sending, if you're familiar with Matthew 25, we committed to Brother Tilly and sending money down there every month, which it's just cool. We get to also pick up local needs and help people too.
And like you said, I mean, we know so many people from just being with the different churches over the last 20, 25 years. That
it really has that
big family.
Yeah, I couldn't design it this way. It's just the way life has been.
Right.
We've known each other in Tucson area for so long, so many people knowing so many people. And now we're sort of scattered. We come back together and have the music, have the food, see each other for a good cause. It's a pretty cool deal. Like I said, I couldn't have designed it, but that's the way it is.
So who's playing with you on Saturday?
We're calling this a fam jam. So I've got family members coming to play.
Okay.
My son Colton and my son Graham are going to come up and sing with us.
Nice.
Along with my daughter-in-law Bree.
Okay.
So we've gotten as much family involved as we can, and but we also have just some of the local musicians I've played with for years in different bands, and some of the best, I would say.
Yeah.
We recently got introduced to a pretty hot new lead guitar player that goes to New Life, and all of these guys are just such a joy to play with.
Yeah,
because they know their stuff and they woodshed, and we get to enjoy doing it as much as I think that people will hear it.
Right. That's the whole thing with the band, is when everyone has that passion to play and that passion for that cause. I mean, it just makes such a huge difference, and you can just tell by listening to the music and watching them.
And I've been to concerts or in situations where the live music, and when you see the musicians are having as good a time as you are, it elevates the experience.
It does, yeah.
And so we do. We kind of get cooking and we look around at each other, and it's a very cool experience. I mean, it might be, whatever your hobbies might be, if you guys are out on the trail and just, a group of you are riding hard and fast, you're kind of looking at each other going, this is pretty awesome.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, all the time. I mean, when we're out mountain biking and everything, we're encouraging each other and making sure we're all safe and everyone is together, We don't leave anyone behind.
And we're blessed. We've played together so much. We just did Gospel Rescue Mission back for their Blessings to Go. And we've done some of these songs for so long
Mhm.
that they're tight and they're fun, and you don't have to think about it. You just plug in and go, you
Yeah.
know? So it's a pretty good time.
Very good, very good. Well, let's take a quick sponsor break, and we will be back here in just a couple minutes with Southwest Flavor.
Shipping packages is a facet of modern commerce. At Tucson Pack and Ship, we work with major delivery companies to make sure your goods get where they need to go. In addition to shipping, we also offer private mailboxes, notary services, and document shredding. We'll also safely pack your valuable items. Tucson Pack and Ship, Tucson's one-stop packing and shipping source.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
Spring is here, and the hot summer temperatures are not far away. Your air conditioning system is one of the biggest expenses in your house. Maintaining your air conditioner is critical to keeping you cool all summer long. Protect your investment by calling Picturox Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing at 520-492-0748 or picturoxcooling.com for fast, friendly, and professional service you deserve.
Picture rocks cooling, heating and plumbing.
Therapeutic Ranch for Animals and Kids is an inclusive community empowered and united by the strength of the human-animal bond.
It taught me responsibility. It taught me kindness and social interaction.
We have programs for every member of our community.
I love track because I have 2 daughters. We come out here and get all of our energy out.
Track is my home away from home.
You can make a donation or even become a monthly donor.
Thank you for supporting Track, Tucson's Ranch. We hope to see you here soon.
If you ever have water damage or mold, your only call should be to Steamy Concepts.
Yeah, but what if the insurance company says to hire someone else?
Nope, Steamy Concepts works for you and not them.
The internet has tons of options.
No way, you don't gamble with water damage.
But the handyman knows a different guy.
Absolutely not. No way, you just call Steamy Concepts today.
But some companies are cheaper.
And you get what you pay for. You don't want to mess with water damage wannabes.
We're calling Steamy Concepts today.
Welcome back to Southwest Flavor. We're talking with Toby Newnum, and you're talking about Matthew 25, your ministry?
Yeah, Matthew 25. Hey, Ron, thanks for letting me come and do this. I appreciate it.
Thank you for coming in.
Because
Always a pleasure to have you.
Yeah, I love talking about Matthew 25. Somebody asked me just a while ago, trying to define it a little bit, because if we do have a subheading, it's kind of like helping people in need. Well, that's it's so general.
Right. Yeah, that's pretty big.
And every once in a while, somebody will ask about Matthew 25 helping with this or that. And we do have a board of directors, but some things we don't say yes to everything.
Sure.
And they ask,
that's natural. Yeah.
How do you decide? And so by keeping it real general, helping people in need, you know, the way I answered that was somebody who has a great need, like in trouble.
Right.
You know, maybe,
like a sudden need.
Yeah, it could be financial, could be physical, and there's plenty of that. So Matthew 25, I like to keep that definition broad so that we can dial it into, you know, people that are really hurting.
Yeah.
And that is what has directed us largely to Ethiopia.
Right.
Long backstory about how we got connected, but the truth is we are connected with this amazing guy down there who travels by bus, by motorcycle, by foot, whatever he needs to do, and goes out into remote areas. And he helps the people that generally I think are not even viewed by some of the big national or international organizations, because they're not geared that way.
Yeah. Well, you've talked about before that he goes to villages that you can only get to by foot.
Yeah, he puts a backpack on. He's got a small team, and they go out.
Mm-hmm.
And they carry the message, the love, and the hope of Jesus, but they get real practical by seeing what the needs are. That's why, we have gone out and put in water wells, and we've gone in and built houses for people that are living underneath a tree. We've gone out and
you've built a church before too over there, didn't you?
quite a few.
Yeah.
I would say almost intentionally. I couldn't give you a rundown list because there's really no way to know how many people have been affected through Brother Tilly, who is our partner down there.
Mm-hmm.
It could be hundreds by the time you reach one person and they reach another person. It could be thousands. We really don't
you
know.
start affecting families and neighbors and then the whole village.
Yeah, but after decades of being a pastor and looking at numbers all the time, I'm almost happy to go, God's in this and we're putting it out there, and I know lots of people are being helped.
Yeah.
Matthew 25 sets their sights on helping people.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've dialed that in, helping people in great need. Could be locally, mostly just happens to be Ethiopia.
Right.
But we're just always ears open, eyes open, going, who can we help?
Yeah. And years ago, you took a team to Ethiopia.
Yeah, we did. Them. That was the catalyst of, at least in my heart.
Yeah.
It's kind of changed my tattoos over the years. It was life-changing. As people will tell you when they go on, you hear people talking about going on mission trips or what have you, and opening their eyes to how some of the other world lives.
Right.
Or most of the world lives, actually.
Yeah.
It gets in your heart, And so we did. We went down there and stayed 10 days, and then a couple of years later went down there again and another 10 days, and I hope to go back down there again at some point, at least one more time.
Okay.
It's quite a trip.
Yeah.
And but it was life-changing for us, and then resulted in, first of all, through Vision Church back in the day.
Right.
Vision Church no longer exists. Churches come and go. But we wanted to keep this thing going with Brother Tilly down there. And so we did through Matthew 25.
Yeah.
And what it's come down to, Ron, is because for us, and then resulted in, first of all, through Vision Church back in the day. That's me. The way it has come down to is we're music-driven, event-driven.
Mm-hmm.
So like I said, I couldn't design it. It just works very well. We put out on the media, hey, we're doing this on this day with music and food, and show up and bring a lawn chair and see each other, and people do.
Oh, yeah.
And it's fun.
Yeah.
And, I think people want to help other people. They really do. We really do.
Yeah.
Give them an easy way to do that, and even a fun way to do that. And
it works.
People show up.
Yeah.
And everybody gets helped, and praise God for that.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit. You mentioned about, just when you go somewhere else and just see how the rest of the world lives. Back several years ago, we went down into Mexico, and we were working at the orphanage.
Yeah.
So that's pretty close to home. It was an hour and a half away from here, from Northwest Tucson.
Yeah.
And we went and worked at an orphanage several times.
Right. Yeah. And that's part of the calling. I think if you're, a Jesus follower or a church, you could say a church member in Southern Arizona, that you don't have to go very far to find people in great need. I mean, we have people in great need in Marana.
Yeah.
Or
anywhere in Southern Arizona. Yeah, exactly.
So what I have, being a pastor where you get up and go to a church office every day and then not doing that anymore, somebody may wonder, like, well, what do you do? And there is so much to do. If we just go through our day with our eyes open, and if you're a Jesus follower, just say, hey, show me. And I don't think you'll get 3 blocks from your house where you'll go, there are people everywhere that
Sure.
we can share the love and grace of Christ with.
Yeah. And it could even be something simple.
So many different ways.
Yeah, it could be something really simple, like helping someone bring in their garbage cans or something. Yeah.
Yeah. We were out for a walk the other day with the grandkids, and there was a elderly man. He was older than me, so he was elderly. And he was having a hard time, getting up the hill. And he didn't have any water, and he just shouldn't have been out there walking, but he was. So right there.
Yeah.
I can either go with my grandkids or run back home and try and get the truck and pick him up and take him home.
Right.
That kind of thing.
Sure.
Little things. Swing the door open for somebody with a smile. You don't have to say, this is because I'm a Jesus follower.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Just do it. Yeah.
And so there's so much to do.
Yeah.
I mean, there is more to do. Leslie and I, my wife Leslie and I, are busier now.
Yeah.
Or as busy now. Because we've committed to help somebody. And as soon as you commit, you get into their stuff and you get into their mess and you get into their challenges, and
right.
It's everywhere.
But you and Leslie doing all those just little things, around your neighborhood, around your community, your grandkids are watching that too.
Well, yeah. I mean, I hope. And in this event, Ron, that we're doing, we're always faith-based in everything that we do.
Mm-hmm.
Matthew 25 is known. Our family is, for Leslie, are known. But what's exciting to me is I think will be attended by many people that are not of the faith or have not yet learned. And so we get a chance to, what Jesus said in Matthew chapter 6, a part of Sermon on the Mount there was, let your good work shine so God will be praised. And
right.
that's a good, solid scripture to sit on.
Yeah.
Individually every day. Do something good. Let
right.
it shine. Somebody might ask you, like, why are you helping me out? And then you get an opportunity to specifically say, I'm a follower of Jesus, and I've just learned to help others, and that's why. So you get to give God glory, but even when you don't get to say it out loud, I trust that the message is coming across.
Yeah. Well, tell us one more time real quick. What time? Where?
Yeah, this particular event is coming up Saturday, May 10th. And we're going to start up about 6 o'clock. It is an outdoor event.
Okay. Bring your lawn chairs.
Bring your lawn chairs. We'll have plenty of cold water there. But it is right outside of Roadrunner Coffee, Fido's Tacos, and we're going to set the band up there and play.
Okay.
We're calling it a parking lot party. We're just crashing the parking lot. So it's Linda Vista and Thornydale. It's in the Mountain View High School area. Most people in our community know where Roadrunner
very popular place,
coffee is.
Yeah.
And it's right in there. And we'll be going from about 6 to 8, and just family and friends and music and food, and for a good cause to help my son and daughter-in-law who lost their baby. He was born and just lived a few hours, and then they had to say goodbye to him. So a lot of families go through stuff like that. This was a first for us, and so I know for them, what a punch in the gut. As grandparents, we all feel it. At least we can help them out with medical bills a little bit.
Right. Well, thank you so much for coming on today.
Yeah, thanks, Ron, man. I appreciate it. It's always good to hang out with you.
Yeah, you too. All right, we will be back in just a couple minutes with Southwest Flavor.
Shipping packages is a facet of modern commerce. At Tucson Pack and Ship, we work with major delivery companies to make sure your goods get where they need to go. In addition to shipping, we also offer private mailboxes, notary services, and document shredding. We'll also safely pack your valuable items. Tucson Pack and Ship, Tucson's one-stop packing and shipping source.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
Spring is here and the hot summer temperatures are not far away. Your air conditioning system is one of the biggest expenses in your house. Maintaining your air conditioner is critical to keeping you cool all summer long. Protect your investment by calling Picturox Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing at 520-492-0748 or picturoxcooling.com for fast, friendly, and professional service you deserve.
Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating and Plumbing.
Therapeutic Ranch for Animals and Kids is an inclusive community empowered and united by the strength of the human-animal bond.
It taught me responsibility. It taught me kindness and social interaction.
We have programs for every member of our community.
I love track because I have 2 daughters. We come out here and get all of our energy out.
Track is my home away from home.
You can make a donation or even become a monthly donor.
Thank you for supporting track, Tucson Ranch. We hope to see you here soon.
If you ever have water damage or mold, your only call should be to Steamy Concepts.
Yeah, but what if the insurance company says to hire someone else?
Nope, Steamy Concepts works for you and not them.
The internet has tons of options.
No way, you don't gamble with water damage.
But the handyman knows a different guy.
Absolutely not. No way, you just call Steamy Concepts today.
But some companies are cheaper.
And you get what you pay for. You don't want to mess with water damage wannabes.
We're calling Steamy Concepts today.
Welcome back to Southwest Flavor. Our next guest is an Olympic gymnast coach, Coach Yoichi Tomita.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Welcome.
Thanks.
How you doing today?
Great. Good to be here.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself. And you have a quite accomplished career.
Thank you so much. Well, I was born and raised in Japan, and I was there until 18 years old.
Okay.
Then I came to U.S., going to college in Long Beach, California.
Ah, okay.
Then, I studied, competed, and came to Tucson in 1979.
Oh, okay.
So I've been here ever since.
Did you go to Long Beach because they had a strong gymnastics program at the time?
Yes.
Yeah.
And, if you, speaking of American Dream.
Yeah.
You're looking at right now.
Okay,
Yeah.
There you go. That's what it's all about, right?
Yeah.
And you came over here and you lived your dream.
No kidding. It's been a great life.
Yeah.
And my family was very poor in Japan, and I studied gymnastics, and that really changed my life.
Oh, okay.
So studying gymnastics, number one, when I was 11 years old, and coming to U.S.
Yeah.
At the age of 18, and coming to Tucson.
What drew you to Tucson?
Well, when I graduated from college,
Mhm.
I had 3 job offers.
Ah.
And I was a pretty good gymnast.
Uh-huh.
So I had 3 job offers as a coach. One was in San Francisco Gymnastics Club. Second was Pennsylvania.
Oh.
Yep, for Penn State.
Okay.
For assistant coach. And the third one was Tucson. One of my friends opened a gym, so he wanted me to come here. And what attracted me to Tucson was, this is a job, he said, you be the boss.
Ah, okay. So you can be your own boss.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is your program. So that was kind of my cup of tea. So I said, okay, I came to Tucson in 1979, and the rest is history.
Okay. Were you ready to be your own boss at that young of an age?
Yeah, I
Yeah?
wanted to.
Well, I think we all want to, but were you ready for it?
No, I don't think I was ready, or I didn't know I was getting into it.
Right,
But,
right.
you know.
You were probably, what, 22, 23?
Yeah, I was 24.
24,
Actually, 24.
okay.
I went to graduate school for 1 year, so 24, and I came to Tucson.
Okay.
And it was a struggle.
Of course.
It was a struggle, but, you know, I wouldn't change a thing.
Yeah. So when you started Gymnastics World here in Tucson, did you have an investor behind you that was able to help you financially to get the building and to get everything started up, or?
No, not really.
Not really.
I came to work for who became my partner, Don Gutzler.
Okay.
And he was a friend of mine.
Uh-huh.
And we coached together. And he invited me to be one of his coaches.
Ah, okay.
And I started working for him first in 1979 to 1983. In 1983, I said, "Hey, Don, I want to be my own boss now. I want to own the place." So I started, renting the place on Fort Law. That's where we are now.
Okay.
And that's how it started. 1983, I became independent. So it's been 43 years?
Yeah, 42 years.
Yes.
That's a long time.
It's a long time. And we went through so many things, but no regret.
Yeah.
It's been a great life.
I bet. And you've coached many college athletes, many Olympic athletes. Tell us some back history, some stories.
Yeah, so I would say to point out that one of the greatest moments I had as a coach was walking into the Olympic Stadium for the opening ceremony of 1988.
Okay.
Seoul Olympic game.
Yeah.
I was assistant coach of USA team, and as I was walking into the stadium, you can hear the roar. And just to think that 1 billion people watching throughout the world.
Yeah.
And that feeling, I'll never forget. I can relive that.
Of course. Yeah.
And the interesting story was one of my friends on the Olympic team told me that, "Hey, Yoichi, if you walk in the right-hand side, you may be on TV. Or you may be on the newspaper, because that's where the cameraman is."
So you made sure to position yourself.
Position myself on the right-hand side, and I walked in, and sure enough, a couple weeks later, a friend of mine sent me a New York Times
Oh, wow. Okay.
article
Yeah.
in the Olympic opening ceremony, and I was right on it.
Yeah. And that was a big deal back then, because you think about it, we didn't have all that digital stuff that we have now. If you're on a newspaper or if you're on a media clip, for either some kind of TV show or the news, I mean, that was a big thing.
That was a big deal.
Yeah.
So that was one of the greatest moments, I would say. Yeah, but it's been great. I've coached thousands of gymnasts, and that's what the pleasure I get. That even now,
right?
Every week, I go in town shopping, whatever. And I bump into somebody whose daughter was in the gym, whose son was in my gym, whose grandkids was in my gym. And they tell me that, they had a great time. I ran into somebody's Sam's Club yesterday parking lot.
Yeah.
"Hey, coach, my daughter was in your gym. Had a great time." And what's the last name? Shivani Patel.
Okay.
I remember the name.
You remember the names, yeah.
So, that's something that I really enjoy. We've done something to the young kids that they can remember for the rest of their life.
Right. Is there a big gymnastics high school scene, or is it mostly club?
So what happened was, when I came to Tucson in 1979, there are like 20 high school programs. And there was only 2 clubs, gymnastics club in Tucson.
Okay.
Now, there's no high school program.
No high school
middle
programs.
school program.
Wow.
And only clubs.
Okay.
And we do have a club, probably several clubs in Tucson right now.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's doing a good job. And, we cater for young kids. And I really believe that young kids, children, really need some kind of physical activity.
They do. They need an outlet.
They really do.
Yeah.
And the gymnastics is probably the best one to start with.
Okay.
Whatever the field they may want to go into, that's no problem with that.
Yeah.
But gymnastics is great, the coordination, strength, flexibility, discipline. I think we provide all those necessary tools for the kids for their lifetime.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I have a hard time stopping doing this.
Right. Wow, I didn't realize that there was no high school programs.
No,
so it's all club. Okay.
All clubs. I used to coach actually a high school program because I didn't have enough kids and not enough income. So I used to coach a Swallow High School.
Okay.
When I came here in 79 to 80, and I had a great time. Yeah. So gymnastics itself has grown, as you know.
Yeah.
With Simone Biles recently, just taken to the next level. And, it's been a great sports. I love gymnastics. I have been involved in gymnastics since I was 11 years old.
Okay.
So, it's almost 60 years.
Yeah.
And I'm loving every minute of it.
Yeah. Is gymnastics big in Japan?
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge in Japan. Japan, gymnastics is probably one of the major sports.
Oh, wow.
There's no professional.
Okay.
But prestige and the result. And it's huge in Japan. But back then, when I was in Japan was by far the best in the world for men's gymnastics.
Okay.
So, we had a lot to give to this country. And I think I contributed a little part of the growth of USA Gymnastics men's program.
Very nice.
Which I feel good about.
Yeah, of course. Of course. You've impacted all these people, for the last 40 years here in Tucson.
Yes.
Yeah. When you came to the U.S., you went to Long Beach. Did you come by yourself, or did any family members come with you?
No. That's why, the interesting story is that, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, my family was very poor. And I actually could not go to college in Japan.
Oh.
Because it costs so much.
Right.
And, I heard about the scholarship program in U.S. because Japan, there is no full scholarship.
Oh, okay.
So I heard about that, and one of my coach's friend got the job at the Long Beach State University.
Okay.
So he offered me, it was not the full scholarship, but it was enough for me to live, and I can study, I can do gymnastics. So I took a chance.
Sure.
And I didn't have money to come over to U.S., and I borrowed $2,000 from my friend.
Oh, wow.
got the one-way ticket.
Yeah.
Came to
and
US.
Never looked back.
Never looked back. That was 1974.
Oh.
So
wow.
last year was my 50th year in the U.S. Yeah.
Well, what kind of changes have you noticed in Southern Arizona over the last 40 years?
Yeah, it's a huge difference.
Yeah.
Yes. When I first came to Tucson, I don't know exactly the population was, but maybe 70, 80,000 or maybe 100,000. But it was a little sleepy town.
Yeah.
But it was a great place for me to start.
And you grew with the town.
Yes, absolutely. And, I had a very a great program to start with, competition-wise. Club itself was very small.
Okay.
But I had a very hard-nosed coaching style I had, and I was able to do what I wanted to do without the criticism or the microscope from everybody. I was able to do what I wanted to do in Tucson.
Yeah.
And my goal was to make Tucson the mecca of gymnastics at the time. I had a dream.
Sure.
And, I did just that.
Yeah.
For the next 6-7 years, we won the junior national championships 5 out of 6 years.
Oh.
So it was a good start for us.
Yeah.
And there's no regret coming to Tucson.
So over your lifetime of coaching, you said you're a hard-nosed coach when you started. Are you still a hard-nosed coach?
No. Very, very nice now. So the interesting thing is, I came from the real strict coaching style in Japan. That's where I grew up.
Okay.
I was my team was the best in Japan. I was the best gymnast in Japan when I was 18 years old. So a lot of people told me, why do you go to U.S.? Why U.S. was not even close to Japan at the time?
Yeah.
But I said, I always wanted to be a coach. I knew when I started gymnastics, I was 11, 12 years old. I knew back then, for whatever the reason, I wanted to be a coach.
Okay.
Yeah. And, I wanted to pursue. And when I came to U.S., I realized huge potential.
Yeah.
But these people need help. And maybe I can do something.
Right.
Small part of it. And Japan, so many good gymnasts, so many good coaches. And I felt like my impact may not be as great as coming to a place like this. It's like land of opportunity and the possibility, which was very true.
Yeah.
And, it's been so good. Gymnastics was good to me. USA has been good to me. So it's been, like I said, Ron, it's been a great life.
Very good.
And I owe to gymnastics. I owe to US. I owe to my wife, of course.
And also your hard work and your dreams.
Yes.
Yeah.
But hard work is easy when you are passionate about it.
Yeah.
That's what I tell all my kids, students, coaches, that find something you're passionate. Then you don't mind working hard.
Right.
It's hard
because you enjoy it.
Yeah. You tell everybody, hey, work hard, do good. But if they are not passionate, if they don't believe in their cause, it's hard for them to be.
Of course.
Working hard. So, it's been good.
Very good. Let's take a quick sponsor break, and we'll be back here in just a couple minutes with Southwest Flavor.
Shipping packages is a facet of modern commerce. At Tucson Pack and Ship, we work with major delivery companies to make sure your goods get where they need to go. In addition to shipping, we also offer private mailboxes, notary services, and document shredding. We'll also safely pack your valuable items. Tucson Pack and Ship, Tucson's one-stop packing and shipping source.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
Spring is here and the hot summer temperatures are not far away. Your air conditioning system is one of the biggest expenses in your house. Maintaining your air conditioner is critical to keeping you cool all summer long. Protect your investment by calling Picturox Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing at 520-492-0748 or picturoxcooling.com for fast, friendly, and professional service you deserve.
Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
Therapeutic Ranch for Animals and Kids is an inclusive community empowered and united by the strength of the human-animal bond.
It taught me responsibility. It taught me kindness and social interaction.
We have programs for every member of our community.
I love track because I have 2 daughters. We come out here and get all of our energy out.
Track is my home away from home.
You can make a donation or even become a monthly donor.
Thank you for supporting track, Tucson's Ranch. We hope to see you here soon.
If you ever have water damage or mold, your only call should be to Steamy Concepts.
Yeah, but what if the insurance company says to hire someone else?
Nope, Steamy Concepts works for you and not them.
The internet has tons of options.
No way, you don't gamble with water damage.
But the handyman knows a different guy.
Absolutely not. No way, you just call Steamy Concepts today.
But some companies are cheaper.
And you get what you pay for. You don't want to mess with water damage wannabes.
We're calling Steamy Concepts today.
All right, welcome back. We're talking with Coach Yoichi, talking everything about gymnastics and the many generations that you've impacted in gymnastics. One of the things that I was talking to Ricky about before our interview was just how you develop character. I mean, you're not just teaching these kids different moves, different gymnastics you're helping them develop their character. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's absolutely, that is the most important thing in our program.
Mm-hmm.
I think I always tell the parents and the kids that, we don't just teach rows and handstand and flips.
Right.
But developing the character is probably the most important part of our program. Developing disciplines, developing the respect, developing the friendship.
Yeah.
And those are the things that they can use for the rest of their lives, and working hard to get something.
Yeah.
And the greatest thing about the sports, as you know,
Mm-hmm.
not only in gymnastics, but everything else, is when you get into the gym or the field or the mat, everything's even.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how rich you are, how poor you are, races, social status, doesn't matter.
Right.
It's an even field.
Yeah.
If you want to get something, you have to work hard to achieve it. And I think that's something that it's great for kids to learn.
That's true.
And that's what they tell me later on their life. It's not the competition, it's not the gold medal, but it's those things that they got from the gym that they remember for the rest of their life. And that's what gives me a pleasure, watching the kids grow right in front of our eyes.
Right.
From the insecure, maybe weak in many ways,
Mm-hmm.
to the confidence, very nice young man or young woman.
Mm-hmm.
And that's so good to see. And it's a great profession.
Yeah, it is. Sports brings out a lot of really good things if they're coached well. You give them that target. You can, whatever the sport is, here's your target. This is what I want you to do, and this is how you're going to get there. You have to train mentally and physically. You have to show up every day. You have to be ready to work. You have to work hard. And you can see them just growing through that whole process.
I think that is so true. And that's something that it's very important for the kids. And I always tell them that sound mind in a sound body.
Mm-hmm.
If you feel good about your body or the health, then you feel good about life itself.
Yeah.
So it's important for them to be in shape, important for them to stay fit.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I think the important thing is the other part is the mental part of it.
Yeah.
And the emotional part of it. And, for our program, respect is very important.
Yeah.
I tell them, respect for the parents, respect for the coaches, respect for the elders, and lastly, not the least important, respect for the gymnast,
Mm-hmm.
fellow student, fellow gymnast.
Right.
And, those are
your
things,
teammates and your competitors.
Absolutely, yeah. And that's something that, we need that. And, interesting story is I've been doing this for, I told you, 46 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I've been in my program for 43 for my own gym. Last 3 years since the COVID
Right.
has been the best years.
Oh, really?
That's really interesting.
Maybe it opened people's eyes up and
I
said,
think so.
we need to be out there. We can't just be in front of a screen all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think the parents realize, I don't want my kids in the gym 24 hours. I mean, at home for 24 hours.
Right.
And let's send them somewhere. Let's do some physical activities.
Right.
So
have
it's
that outlet for them.
Yes, it's very interesting. Because after the COVID, I felt like, this was such a good thing I had.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, COVID took everything out. Right?
Yeah, probably just knocked you out for a couple years.
Knocked us.
Yeah.
And I said, well, if I need to stop now, I had a good run. So it's good.
Yeah.
But we kept going. I said, maybe a couple more years. Then after COVID, it's been the best 3-4 years of our gym.
Wow.
And it's people realizing how important it is, especially nowadays with the computer, social media, all that, people doing this all the time.
Right.
It's such a healthy environment. I see the kids' voice, smiles, yelling, screaming,
and the friendships that they develop.
The social things they have.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I like to keep going for a while.
Yeah. Yeah. Just one other thing I wanted to touch about with youth sports, and it's that it's you teach the kids that's okay to lose too. I mean, there's going to be failure in your life, and you need to get used to it. You need to learn how to either overcome it or make it a learning opportunity.
Absolutely. I think that is such a great point that you think about it, there's only one Olympic champion.
Right.
And when you go to the competition, there's only one guy or one girl take a first place.
Mm-hmm.
So does that mean all others are failures? No, absolutely not. What we say, I tell my coaches, my kids that, what's important is how much they improve, not the result they get. Some kids are naturally more talented, but kids can give an effort and make an improvement. And I promise the parents that I can't promise anyone to be Olympian or state champion, but I can promise you we're going to do our best that they're going to improve from beginning of the season to the end of the season.
Right.
And we are getting ready to do a award banquet.
Oh, okay.
We do award banquet for our 70, 80 team kids every year.
Yeah.
And at the award banquet, whether you're a national champion or the beginning level 2 gymnast, everybody get the same award.
Okay.
Because going through 1 year with 3, 4, 5 times coming to gym 3, 4 hours after school, I always tell them, hey, you're a 95 percentile of all the children. Who would do that?
Yeah. Dedication, hard work.
Yeah. Respecting everybody. So, it's time to celebrate. And we always do that every year, which I've done it for 43 years. It's been nice.
Yeah, yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on today with us.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, we really enjoyed it. We'd love to have you on another time.
Oh, yeah, I would love to. And thank you for giving me opportunity to share my life and belief. And enjoyed very much, Ron.
Yeah, it was an honor. All right. That was another episode of Southwest Flavor. Catch us every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 a.m. We'll see you next week.